everyone. Here are some of the latest breaking news stories developing today, and a little bit of a recap of some that have happened overnight. Roads out of Burning Man may reopen today for the tens of thousands still trapped there after rain deluged the area with mud. The Fed plans their next meeting after August jobs report release. So, get ready for another interest rate hike in our future? Maybe. Polynesian Days Festival brings island culture to Utah, raises money for Maui. Oprah Winfrey and Dwayne Johnson put $10 million towards new Maui fund. The truckload capacity bubble is bursting, and the next big wave of exits is looming this winter. Watch. Bison headbutts car in Yellowstone National Park while Porsche Taycan prices continue to tank. And yes, a nationwide emergency alert test will happen on October 4th. The test will be sent to radios, televisions, and cell phones in order to confirm that these systems used by the government can effectively inform people of the next big emergency. Another tropical disturbance in the Atlantic likely to develop this week. Will we see a return of Idalia 2.0? And this is only just scratching the surface. There's so much more going on and lots to report, and I will continue to bring you the news that matters the most, or at least the news that I think is most urgent. And if there's anything specific that you would like me to bring to you and cover with additional information or a deeper dive, just let me know in the comments. And yes, I do read your comments, and I hear you folks loud and clear. Take a look at the screen. These are some of the latest comments that subscribers have left on my most recent videos. I was once a manager in a grocery store. Imagine this. One day, Social Security checks don't show up on the first, and food stamp cards no longer have money on them. 2 weeks, and all hell will break loose. Society is 2, 3, or 4 weeks from a nightmare. When the masses can't get food, they will be coming for us all. Have a year's worth of food and something to protect yourself. Thank you for your comment, and this sounds like sage advice and prudent wisdom. Here's another one. It's like the government is turning on the people. Depopulation. Like what Kamala said, right? More folks, even Maui, losing everything and become homeless. Now I gotta ask you guys, is there any truth to there being tunnels under Maui? No protests, we comply. That's where I gotta stop you there. No, I will not comply. Developers starting fires for insurance money with so many homeless, term limits and laws needed that protect people from predatory land grabs. Okay. Kevin, the deputy director of the Bank of England, is from the WEF. I didn't know that. Or how about this one? It doesn't matter what they do, you're on your own. And thank you for this information. Question: how will this affect people living in low-income housing? What can I do now to prepare? So, answer, stay tuned. We're going to talk about just that very subject and get more insights on how everyone can prepare to get ready, stock up, and stockpile quickly, as well as discussions on home prices, real estate, interest rates, mortgage, loans, affordable housing, rent prices, and so much more. I feel if things keep going the way they are, and if the government makes people get mandate shots again, we're heading for civil war. That's what we need to be talking about and preparing for. I, for one, hope we do not have a war on our land. Many people will die. And for what? We can't win physically against our government. We have to use our minds and will to be smart enough to get out of the way. Our votes don't count. It's all rigged. Only God can save us. Now, that's Quite a lot to process there. I agree with some of the points made in this comment, and others I'm not so sure about. What do you all think? And I got one more comment for you guys. Repent to Jesus Christ. Something bad is about to happen. Read your Bible. I know it's going to be big and going to happen this year. Man, I hope that's not the case. For the sake of so many people out there, we need a brighter future ahead of us. If we can just make it to November 2024, we may be in decent shape. Do you agree? And I got one more news update for you guys. Here, take a look at your screen. This one reads, find out how a series of small deposits in your bank account could cause you some financial problems. Now, this one is very, very important, especially for people who have side hustles and do gig work, or if you're working remote jobs and receive small deposits on a random and somewhat sporadic, non-scheduled frequency. And I've heard plenty of stories of people experiencing trouble when attempting to withdraw money from their own bank accounts and being given the runaround, delayed, or even questioned and almost interrogated about the reasons and usage of their own hard-earned cash. But now, in what seems to be a complete reversal and a 180-degree flip, the banks have pivoted. More so recently, over the last 3 weeks, I'm now hearing the opposite. And instead of banks holding our money hostage and hoarding cash in their vaults, they're instead giving it all back. But there's one caveat to this. They're closing accounts in the process and telling customers to basically take their business somewhere else. Business, personal, and credit card and investment accounts, all of it. You're done. And I have an email here in front of me that will explain exactly what happened to someone here recently, or at least to the best of their ability, since the banks continue to play their games and are almost worse than the government and talking out of both sides of their mouth, leaving this particular account holder or previous account holder, bank customer, in the dark. All right, so let me just read this email that I got the other day, and it says, Dear Kevin, longtime subscriber here and subscriber to Squirrel Tribe too. I wish I had great news to deliver, but unfortunately that just isn't the case at the moment. But I felt it was very important that I share what just happened to me so I can possibly help other people avoid a very big problem. I've been under a lot of stress due to a rather unsettling incident that occurred about 3 weeks ago, and I wanted to share my experience with you in hopes that you would share my story with your subscribers so they don't end up going through the same trouble that I have. So my wife mentioned to me that I received some certified letters from the bank over the weekend, and she wasn't around to collect them. Naturally, this left me a little anxious and wondering what could be the reason behind these letters, as I've never received certified mail from any bank ever before. Well, the following Monday morning, I made a trip to the post office to pick up these certified letters from the United States Post Office. And just to provide some added context, I have 6 accounts with a regional bank in Ohio. Although I won't mention the bank's name here, I have 6 accounts. So to my dismay, the letters informed me that the bank had decided to terminate our business relationship and also close all of my accounts, including my credit cards, at once. Gone. Everything. Done. They gave me a 30-day notice, and I was left totally in the dark as to why they were taking this action against me. Anyway, I reached out to the local branch where I have a pretty good relationship with the manager, and in an attempt to find out the reason behind this sudden decision, unfortunately, even she couldn't get any answers from the bank, which left me feeling frustrated and confused. I am a self-employed business owner and entrepreneur. I run a legitimate business, follow all the rules, and have an anti-money laundering AML program in place as well. I've been in the same industry for a very long time, and I'm well aware of just how regulated it is. So I've always been extremely careful. My business is how I support my family and pay my bills. So needless to say that the situation has been incredibly stressful for me, as I've never had a bank close my account before, let alone all of them at one time. It's especially inconvenient as all my financial transactions, bills, and other financial activities are tied to these accounts, and the processes of opening new accounts at different banks has been a very overwhelming task, as it involves a lengthy approval process where I have to provide detailed information about my business. So long story short, it is my gut feeling as a result of my recent experiences which have led me to believe that banks might be growing weary of businesses like mine. Despite their legality and following all the rules that are in place, it's unsettling how they can exercise such power without providing any concrete reasons. And I suspect that they may not like dealing with cash transactions, even though everything is meticulously documented and legitimate. I've even heard similar stories from other coin shops and dealers in the Ohio area and outside of Ohio, which raises concerns about the future of businesses like mine. The pressure from banks and potential overregulation could make it increasingly difficult for us to operate. Just another typical day in Ohio. And this issue isn't limited to a conspiracy theory either. So you see, it appears that something is genuinely happening with banks and businesses just like mine, because I recently spoke to an older dealer friend who attended a coin show, and he confirmed that many other coin dealers are facing similar problems with banks too. And I also heard that this is happening big time in the UK, particularly small businesses using cash. So, in conclusion, something is definitely going on behind the scenes, and the banks are working against us. And it's causing distress in the precious metals and coin dealing community, which is probably what they really want most. Now, I'm not sure if this is a broader banking issue or a targeted effort, but it's definitely concerning. And with the upcoming election cycle in 2024 and the uncertainty it brings, it seems like we may be heading for significant changes in our country, possibly not for the good. I will continue to investigate and delve deeper into this topic and update you in the future if I get any more information. I love all your videos, Kevin. Thanks for all that you do, and thanks for reading and possibly sharing my warning to everyone. I really hope this helps. Sincerely. All right, so folks, we've got a lot to unpack here from this email. And my first question that I want to ask to you, hopefully all of you will give me a comment with your answer. I want to ask, do you think this has anything to do with them trying to potentially limit our ability to protect ourselves with hard assets and precious metals, gold, silver, platinum? So just kind of curious. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a comment down below. Last I checked, the price of gold was hovering right around $1970-ish, maybe $1,972 roughly. And I have links in the description for anyone interested in owning gold. So there are links in the description. But perhaps what we should be discussing is the topic of central bank digital currencies, these CBDCs, and their potential impact on the financial system and our individual freedoms. And together, address all your concerns about the potential loss of financial freedom and privacy with the introduction of CBDCs, and the importance of individuals being aware of their options and making informed decisions about their financial assets, well before the banks shut us down and wipe us out. So I know, at least I feel pretty confident that you're all well aware of how the government is trying to gain greater control over us through central banks, and how we are moving in the direction of a central bank digital currency. Right now, we still have a choice. Technically, we still have a choice, but the future is uncertain as to how long that will continue to be the case. FedNow is preparing us for the next crisis, basically. And according to my research, FedNow will allow them to issue CBDCs into these accounts. But the question is, will you reload it? And this is a major concern for the central banks that are experimenting with CBDCs right now, and may have also been a reason why we are seeing roadblocks strategically placed in our way of owning our own physical hard assets that still have true value, opposed to the fragile mental construct of the dying dollar in this fractional reserve banking system. CBDCs, or central bank digital currencies, represent a complete shift in how money operates. They are entirely digital and under the control of central banks and governments. This means they can monitor our incomes, spending, and even control various aspects of your life, your money, such as its lifespan and when and where you can use it. CBDCs are not intended to replace the dollar, but rather to be offered as a digital version of it. And the goal is to maintain familiarity during the transition. And they won't immediately eliminate physical cash, but there will be a chip in it to follow central bank policies, or at least so I've been told. CBDCs can be programmed to control aspects like interest rates, taxes, and inflation, reducing the lag time for policies to take effect. Governments can even levy lifetime taxes and pull them out whenever they choose, while central banks can go to negative interest rates, potentially encouraging people to spend more money. CBDCs also grant central banks 24/7 access and control over the economy, allowing them to tweak policies and observe the immediate effects. And this could lead to significant control over individual financial choices, potentially including the ability to cut off access to funds for those with differing opinions who don't align with the agenda. Furthermore, hacking risks are present with central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, just as they are with cryptocurrencies. And while the extent of current hacking incidents is not fully known, CBDCs introduce new security concerns. So remember what I've told you guys all from the start: diversity, security, and cash flow. But the good news is that right now people still have a choice in whether to adopt CBDCs or not. And while this choice is still available by diversifying wealth into tangible assets like gold, food, water, real estate, other essentials, individuals can maintain some financial independence. And this choice allows us to vote with our wallets. Cash, which is currently a debt instrument, can be chipped to follow central bank interest rates, potentially eliminating protection against inflation. And yet and still, the transitioning to a digital dollar could give central banks even more control. And we all know that's exactly what they want, more than anything else, to be able to control us. Rolling out CBDCs represents a significant shift in the financial landscape, potentially giving central banks and governments unprecedented control over individual finances. However, people still have choices to make regarding how they protect their financial freedom and assets, which is why it is so important that these videos are created and this information is shared to as many people as possible. So please share this video with anyone you know, because they're banking on us all not knowing and ultimately just going along with their plan. Meanwhile, ignorance of these changes can leave folks extremely vulnerable and then left with little to no time, forced and backed into a corner where the only option available then becomes surrender, comply, and fall in line to be another sheep, another number in their system. Now that sounds awful, terrible. I don't want that for you guys, not at all. Do you? So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and what do you guys think? What do you think is most important for us to get ready and prepare? Or better yet, if someone were to ask you without having done anything, they haven't prepped yet at all, what would be your advice and the first thing that you would tell them to get started? I'm also putting links in the description to a water filtration system that I'm hoping you guys will give me your feedback on. So please go check it out. I'm planning on ordering one here soon, and I want to make sure that I'm getting the right one. I want to make sure I'm getting the best one. So let me know your thoughts on which one you think is best, which one you think I should buy. And I tell you what, maybe depending, I'll buy two. I'll get one for me, for my family here to use, and I'll get a second that can be a giveaway for you guys as a thank you for your support, for always watching my videos, giving them a like, subscribing, and continuously supporting and watching the channel.